Hi folks, and welcome back to our series of guides on how we use Health One software in Bayview Family Practice. And in this video, I'd like to demonstrate for you how we send referrals and any sort of messaging in relation to our patients. So to get started, I'd like to show you how we send messages to our patients. So I'm going to delete this here as I had this pre-planned. So for example, if I wanted to send a patient a text message, you go here and you select text message, and then you write your message for the patient. Your script as discussed has been sent. Now, once that's your message and you're happy with it, you press the send button. That will then go to the number as shown. If you want to check the messages, you can press text message and it will show you a list of messages that have been sent. So that's sending messages to and from the patient. Personally, I like to create an item here called text, and I will write the message in this. Your script has been sent to your process. So I will then copy this. I'll close this item. So that is showing a record within the consultation of what the text message was. Then I come to the text message, I select paste, and I send it. The reason I like this format is because it leaves the text visible within the consultation, whereas if you don't start it with the item text, then you'll still send the text message, but nobody else looking at this consultation note will know that. They will simply see this consultation note. They won't realize automatically a text message has been sent. So that's number one, how to send a text message to the patient. The next thing you might want to do is send a message about this patient to another colleague within your organization. And for that, you want to use the message button. So this is to send not emails, but internal messages in Health One to various colleagues. You might want to send even yourself a reminder to do a job later on that you don't have time to do today. So I might go here and I might say myself, and I'm going to say, don't forget ENT referral. And what's important here is if I send this message to myself, I could simply select send. That's the only thing that will appear. So John, send ENT referral to Sligo. So if I send this now, it will send this information, but what's lacking is I don't know who this patient is. Today, this makes sense. In 3 days' time, I'm not going to remember at all who this patient is. So if I select this button here, provided that a patient file is already open, it will take the patient file that's open and it will put this in. So unfortunately, this is the oddly named patient called YouTube test. So if I click this button, it will now say related to patient test, because it's surname first name YouTube. And I can then send that message. So that's sending a message within the organization. So now we'd like to get on to sending referrals. So for example, if I'm in the middle of a consultation note, I might, for example, have a consultation note. Now I'll create a SOAP note, and the message I use is normally messages from reception, just to give me a little bit of context as regards the consultations. So subjective, fell 1 week ago and left ankle tender plus plus. Left medial swollen. So straight away, because it's the medial malleolus, I'm going to be a little bit more concerned about, could this be possible fracture? And so I'm going to want to do an X-ray referral. Refer for a plain. Now, obviously, there are ways of doing X-ray referrals in terms of how quickly you can get the patient seen. But let me just show you how to print the referral letter out. So this is the template button to execute a template. And again, I can click on this and I get a full list of all the templates that are on offer, but it can be overwhelming because the list can be absolutely massive. Or if I come out of that and again come to the down arrow, I can see the short list that I use, X-ray JG, and this again is for Sligo University Hospital. So I will say here, plain radiograph of left ankle, please. So I have a few things I can do now. I can come to the print button. I can print this out and give this to the patient. For example, they may wish to go to the walk-in fracture clinic in Sligo. Or I can think to myself, actually, I'm wondering if there's a fracture, but I think it's a low possibility. So I'm happy that the patient gets the X-ray in the next few days or even week. And I'm going to send this to our local radiography service. So I now can come here to send this via health mail. So I click this button here, send document via health mail. I choose where I'm going to send it, and I'm going to choose radiology. So these are a list of addresses that we have. So I have an option to send it to Ballyshannon or to say Sligo. I could pick Sligo. And if you look at this button here, you can actually look at the PDF that you're about to send. And that's what Sligo is about to see. So close this and I can simply press send, or I can add a message if I need to. So that's sending an X-ray referral. However, we don't want to do that now and I won't save it. So we'll get rid of this. Perhaps I want to send an actual outpatient letter. So I could go to referral headed. Again, this is to execute a template. Think of templates more like letters or documents. And we have loads and loads of different templates to cover loads of eventualities. This is a referral headed template for JG. So we have options of where I might want to send this. Maybe I want to send this to the emergency department. So sending to Doctor on Duty Emergency Department Sligo, and there are the details of the patient. And it's going to basically suck out what is in the consultation SOAP note. And then any background medical history that's in the patient file, including medical history, surgical history, medication. And then it's going to simply say, yours sincerely, and the username and Irish Medical Council number. Now, just to mention, you could insert a signature here. So if I go to insert user signature, I can come here and go like so. There we go. Okay, so that is sending a template letter. Again, I could send that by health mail if I have a suitable health mail address to use. And it's the same format in the sense that once you've created and prepared your letter, if you have a health mail address to send it to, you can press this button and then pick your address. You might have a secretary's HSE address, etc., and you can use that. Come out of here. I also have the option to print it, put it into the post. If I needed to, I could print it and hand it to the patient, etc. Okay. Next option that we have is we have the ability to send HealthLink referrals. So this is our HealthLink tab here. And if I click the down arrow, I have several options. Specialized referrals are for things like the pigmented lesion referral clinic in, say, Roscommon Hospital. So if I send this referral, it will open up the standard referral, but then it will open up a separate form that I have to fill out as well. And they will ask that I attach a photo. And I'm going to show you in a moment how to attach photos. Majority of our referrals are standard referrals, and that's to the majority of outpatient clinics. But you can also send a breast clinic referral, a lung referral, prostate referral. Aphadia referral allows us to send a local ultrasound request for our GMS patients. So I could come to Aphadia, It will ask me scan type. I want to do a HSE ultrasound scan. Location, I can pick, let's see here, if I pick Sligo, will that show up? It's here somewhere, HSE Sligo. And then I simply put in my details and send OK. Nope. So sorry, click, and yes, we'll delete that. Finally, Alliance is for Kingsbridge Hospital. It's an option to send MRI scans, etc. Okay, for private patients. On the assumption that, however, I'm going to send a standard referral, you click this button. It opens up the National Standard Referral Form. So just to move around this a little bit, referral priority, you have to select, is it routine or urgent? As per your triage, I'll say routine. Publicly, I'm going to send this to Sligo Hospital, and I want to send this to, ENT. Okay, so come down here, I'm going to, actually I'll send this to orthopedics. That makes a little bit more sense. And I'll send my message. I am really fractured. Sorry. Okay. I can choose to add blood results. So if I come here to blood results, add. Now, the problem is if I do this now, it won't show anything because I don't actually have any blood results or radiology results that are already incorporated into this patient. But if I add lab results, it will clearly show lab investigations. And in the search bar, you can enter any field that you want. A little trick with radiological investigations, if I click add, the search item looks for X-ray, but in fact, you want to put in RAD again, and that will bring up your X-rays, ultrasounds, MRI scans, etc. And you can add items from that. Come all the way down, make sure to add your current medication. If there's anything you want to leave out, you could leave the item out, but if you want to include everything, just click OK. And at the very bottom here, we have the option to add a file. So you can add from an existing file, which you've already got on your computer. And I'm going to go to my section called Resized Photos. Now, Resized Photos appears blank. And why does it appear blank? Because I have photographs here as JPEGs, and so far this is looking for PDF files. So you must change this to all files. And now your various photos will appear, and you have the option now of selecting a photo and adding it in. Okay. That's everything in that. So that's how to send a HealthLink referral. We're going to close this and not save it. One of the last things you might be asked to do is you might get contacted by another general practice, and they might say, do you know the patient? Your patient has moved to our area. They've now moved from, say, South Donegal to Dublin. We'd like to get their medical notes, and they will send you a consent by the patient for transfer of medical information. So once you're happy that that's legitimate and you're happy to send the information, you then can come to this button here, and you can now select send email via HealthMail, and it will give you various options of what you'd like to do. And you could say, I'd like to send the complete healthcare record. And then you have a choice. Do you send it as a PDF format, or do you send it to another Health One user? Which is very advantageous, because if another person is using Health One, you're not sending them a document that they can't use. You're sending them a Health One file that essentially means their continuous medical care continues uninterrupted. So that's a great option for sending the information, and you just simply click which one of those you want. Again, you can have a look at this button here. It will actually show you what that record looks like. Everything that we've created so far exists in this patient record, and now you simply put in the name of the practice that you're going to, provided obviously that it's another health mail address. Okay, I think that's everything there. Thank you very much for watching.